the Hela and Western Province one happened 24 kilometers below the surface. From advice we've received, the impact of this one, although it's a little bit higher than the Hela earthquake, this one, the effect is predicted to be much lesser, but nonetheless, we're taking precautions. We're having a look around what is happening in those areas in and around the epicenter. Impact province is expected to be Morobe, Eastern Highlands, Madang, some part of Gulf and Oro province. They stand right in the radius of in and around the epicenter. But of course, because it's so deep, rest of us in and around our country felt the effect of the earthquake. I was advised there's a clear difference between this earthquake and the earthquake also that happened in between Hela and Western Province. This one was a slip, and the other one was a tectonic thrust movement. Tectonic thrust movement is two plates moving, one's moving up, one's coming up, and one's submerged. So this one is just a slip. They slip against each other. We've been advised that again the impact of a slip is much lesser. I just want to take this time to inform our country a very minimal chance of tsunami. There is, from present indication, there is no serious damages except the University of Goroka. There's a building that had some sort of structural issue. Full extension of the damage is being assessed as we speak. We're getting structural engineers from Works Department to get up there to have a look into that building. PNG power site at Yonki has done a stopover for them to assess some of those damages that has taken place. And right across our impact area footprint, we're getting people to have a look. I just want to take this time to inform our country, governments, through the provincial government network and our district are being advised to try to just find out in all our districts, some remote areas, or in fact most of them, check what is happening on the ground. Our hotline number for all districts and our provincial disaster offices to make contact with our central disaster coordinating unit. Here is 1-800-200, that is the hotline we used for COVID-19. That still remains our national disaster response sort of the reference number. So any call from Madang, from Eastern Highlands, from Morobe, as we work from here down checking them, we also are using this opportunity to ask them if there are any indications of disasters, landslips, structural failures, or people displacement. They need to make contact with us here at the central office. As a government, we are ready and stand ready to, based on these reports that come in, if there are need for us to mobilize assistance, we are ready to mobilize assistance to those areas. Later this evening and early tomorrow, there will be more detailed response coming in from our provinces. And again, using this opportunity, I just want to ask all provincial disaster officers to work through, check your provinces, send out those reports back to us at the very earliest, and we could deploy help where possible and where help is needed. So that is information for me to release. We also know there might be slip underneath the under cable fibers for our internet and telecom communications. We're also checking for our terrestrial communication towers. If our communication is inconvenienced, if our electricity supply is inconvenienced up there in and around Morobe, Eastern Highlands, and this place or from this Papua side to the New Guinea side, please bear with us. We're taking stock of what is happening. It is, whilst at this point in time we may not be alarmed in the terms of no loss of life as yet, but there might be effect in the convenience aspect, electricity supply, telecommunications. We have received clearance from Work Secretary, one or two areas in our Highlands Highway that has seen some crack. Najab Airport is relatively okay. Goroka Airport remains relatively okay, except one or two minor slips. But again, I need to qualify myself. The fullest investigations would take place later today, tomorrow, as we dispatch structural engineers, as we dispatch engineers to go and take full assessment on key installations and key public utilities. And at this time, I want to give assurance to our citizens who may have felt the trauma or who are in the affected areas in as far as the epicenter and the spread of the earthquake is concerned. If you have an issue, if you are affected, make contact to your nearest provincial headquarters, or make contact to your member of parliament. We at the national office have 1-800-200 to hear register your complaints for us to attend to. And we, again, tomorrow onwards, will have a team out to look for some of those key installations that needs detailed investigations to see the safety for road use, the safety for airport use, the safety for Yonki Power, for instance, or the high-rise building in Goroka University that has faced some issues in as far as its safety and use is concerned. So again, in conclusion, it's a 7.5 on the Richter scale. It happened 65 kilometers northwest of Lae, in and around Maka Moment, this area. Impact provinces are Morobe, Eastern Highlands, Madang, and some parts of Gulf and Oro province. Hotline is 1-800-200. If you out there, you've experienced some sort of hardship as a result of this earthquake, we are on standby to come in and help you. And tomorrow onwards, we will deploy full assessment in the impact areas for government to step in and assist where we can. I just want to conclude by saying, please, in the use of information disseminations, social media, we saw a couple of sort of Photoshop being circulated around on road, being totally mismatched. This is complete Photoshop. Let us be responsible to each other in this sort of time. Misinformation is an offense, and using social media platforms to disseminate misinformation is also another offense. And please refrain from sending fake news, refrain from sending false alarm. There is no indication of tsunami on the horizon. There is no indication of continual massive earthquake that will come on as from this one. From the advice we received, this has happened, and the tremors that will take place are smaller ones. Unlike what has happened in Hela province, we don't anticipate further additional tremors from this hit that has taken place today as a result of the slippage that took place in between South Bismarck and India-Australia tectonic plates. Any question?
So in terms of disaster relief funds, how much is your government willing to expend on this exercise towards assisting those?
No amount of money can be announced today. Whatever it takes for us to restore essential service and our people's livelihood, if need be, and the correct assessment will take its course, and then we will deploy all help we can deploy. All our citizens matter, and all our key installations matter. And so this is a priority activity for us. We've already run people on the ground to take full stock. Later today, early tomorrow, and hopefully by Tuesday, the fullest assessment would have come in, and for us to deploy our support. So money, we cannot put value to money against a human life possible. At the moment, by God's grace, no life has been lost from our indications, but we're getting information to come in. You never know. Up there in some remote areas, mountain may have slipped, something may have happened. We have feelers out. That's why I've asked for our provincial offices, disaster office, to check the local areas, our districts, our councillors and our presidents to check what is happening in and around those areas and feed us with information, and we understand by the assist. Just on a related matter, but separate, most of you would have known, we've parked National Disaster Office under Defence Force. Going forward, it is a deliberate act by our government since 2019. We felt that disaster would be better handled by defence going forward into the future in as far as quick time, real time response. So that's why Defence Commander is sitting here. Going forward into the future, our defence structure would be relooked at, and our National Disaster Response Unit would be handled by Defence Force, so that if we build up defence logistics, defence transport, defence medical, then Defence Force will be the place in which they make a quick response and carry all our government responses going forward. The Defence Department, Defence Commander, Army Commander, as well as our Defence Minister sit here in this context that they will be responsible. All right. Any question? Any other questions?
No more questions?
Yeah, fortunately, this one is that has as I said, a clear difference between this one and the other one. Tectonic thrust movements, slip. This one is a slip. The other one, thrust decline and thrust coming up. So, from our advice, again, this is much deeper. We've been advised that the effect will be much lesser than the 7.5 on the British scale that hit Western Province and Hela Province in 2018. All right, thank you too much. Thank you, Lieutenant Kam.